So definitely some impressive talent to come out of there, and we'll have to see if that is another one of those impressive talents.
Just so you guys are not fully confused, Spectral on the team of AT isn't a new addition, of course. It is Only God did change his name during the off-season, so now he's going by Spectral, both in-game on Twitter, of course. As we count down the timer, both teams going to roll out with the 3-3. Not too surprising.
Well, Spectral may well be an unfamiliar name, but we all know that Caffey is one that many players in Europe are familiar with on the rank ladder for a long time, as well as a pretty popular streamer in his own right, and he's been absolutely tearing people apart with his Zarya over the course of Trials. We'll have to see if he'll be able to hold a candle up to Only God and see if this next level of competition is one that he can step up to and dominate in. Look at how aggressive Caffey is right here using this high ground.
He has zero charge as well. He's doing a lot of damage, but still getting a little bit of ult charge. Charges grabs incredibly fast on that. It's actually fairly scary facing up against him. I'm lucky to actually get like 1 Transcendence off per 2 Graviton Surges he actually generates. Is actually mad.
Have to see. Lolsish going to take a little bit of fire there, but will quickly back off with the help of his team, recharge his shield, and then potentially take a re-engagement as Danny tries to control the high ground, get that additional pressure onto a body of Angry Titans who make the rotations.
Yeah, already, look, Caffey, 75% over Spectral's 40%, so doubling his lead, or well, doubling the lead already in Graviton Surge charge. Angry
Getting
Titans
aggressive.
And Young and Beautiful still jostling around the point. No one's going to go down just yet. Although ult's coming online very soon, might just turn the tail.
Yeah, we'll have to see if an early Graviton Surge could be what seals this. There it goes already, Jaws.
Yep, Caffey's going to throw it out. Kills Spectral off. Can't generate a Graviton Surge right now. Transcendence from Young and Beautiful as well as the shatter does hit the floor. Urki ends up going down before Fat can lay down the beat. Another slam does hit, but no real follow-up there. Is a beautifully timed Transcendence coming through from AT. Does make sure they survive on the point. Lolsish ends up going down though. There's Cran Drop and the gang are just going to round on him and kill them off. Finally, they're going to cling off Angry Titans off the point. Emil's going to fall, and that'll be the cap for Young and Beautiful.
Great presence of mind there from Crandop to not only guard Caffey when he went down due to that Earth Shadow with his shield to ensure any incoming projectiles were not able to damage him and take away from that incoming damage. But he also got the counter charge onto Lolsish as well to ensure the mutual stun was there and that the burst damage could not be delivered to Caffey through the Transcendence. And look, Caffey's basically got another Graviton already. I think he and Spectral may well be lapped.
Ooh, Spectral is 1% away though. They're going to get it roughly the same time. We'll see if Spectral wants to pull the trigger first. The Graviton Surge gets thrown in. I thought Urki ate that, Emil ate that. He definitely did not. Spectral gets instantly focused down as the self-destruct from Danny finds 2 kills. Emil's going to throw his self-destruct in as well and find Honey, but the rest of Angry Titans were already dead.
Young and Beautiful looking pretty dominant here off the back of Caffey's Zarya play. It could be a new contender for the newest hardest. Look at how savage Young is getting right here, trying to get that boop onto Lolsish, but now it's got to be a quick reset for Angry Titans. Spectral actually popped over onto the Widowmaker and Spawn. Test me, Savage. Test me. You're going to get absolutely bloodthirstily soaked by Only God.
Okay, Young Savage can make it back to the point, of course, being a Lucio, but Angry Titans can just pull the trigger on that speed boost to rush forward. The Transcendence will stop a lot of that damage coming through after the shatter was laid down by Young and Beautiful. Caffey still managed to take out Urki, though, and is building up to another grab extraordinarily quickly.
A-Fox doing a lot of damage here, and so will Spectral with this huge amount of energy, doing up to 190 damage per second with that beam straight into the back of Danny.
Yeah, Danny got body blocked there actually by Lolsish. Couldn't use those thrusters to actually dip over him. They did run out before he managed to make it to the choke. Young Savage delaying some more time on the point, but Lolsish just smack him on the wall, kills him off, and that'll be Angry Titans for the first time, capping the point.
Young and Beautiful almost in one-fight territory here. May well be able to squeeze 2 out of 83%. Meanwhile, Angry Titans, they're going to have to get all the way up to 100% from the 0 where they just capped. And their primary tool to do that will be Lolsish's Earth Shatter.
There's the grab. The rally's going to come through as well from Young and Beautiful, but a beautiful counter shatter coming through from Lolsish to make sure no one from Young and Beautiful can touch the front line. Caffey gets completely run down by Fat. And that'll be AT holding up to the spawn doors of Young and Beautiful. Want to make this time count.
Have to make sure they don't get caught out by the same tricks that Spectral pulled out onto them. Spectral, of course, almost got his own Graviton Surge and will have a significant advantage over Caffey, who basically solo grabbed Lolsish during that last fight to try and isolate the main tank, because often taking out just the main tank is enough to snowball the fight in your favor in a 3-3 versus 3-3 scenario. And not only that, without a Reinhardt, you're free to farm up your next Graviton without a shield in your way as well.
Cranjol's 10% away towards his shadow. Perhaps wanting to use this offensively to stop the incoming damage from Spectral's grab. Speaking of the grab, there it is. Self-destruct straight on top. There's the shadow, what we wanted to see, but Emil finds 2 kills with the self-destruct. Young Savage and Flippy ends up going down. Crown Drop's going to follow them as well. Angry Titans continue to hold the point, and only just now, Harry, they're moving towards the percent bank that Young and Beautiful acquired on their first cap.
A little bit of a stagger there onto Honey as well. You saw Spectral look him down and was like, you know what, I'm not going to chase that. I'm going to let this get cleaned up by Emil. Just a couple of seconds later, making sure they can squeeze every last percentage point out of that particular fight as possible. And now, Angry Titans look like they're poised to take City Center here. Young and Beautiful need to win in the next fight, or it's very unlikely they'll be able to do anything on this particular map. Lolsish getting very sneaky, wants to try and lay down a cheeky little shatter from the back. Is he going to look to potentially catch out Honey?
Hammer comes down, he
There it
gets
is,
booped
three
away,
of
but it
them.
doesn't matter. Booped up in the air, elongated the shatter cast time, but hey, it don't matter at all. Urki comes in as well with the flail. Angry Titans laying in wait, and they did have a couple of ults to spare as well. Young and Beautiful, they threw out the grab. It was in spawn, unfortunately. Kathy was focused so heavily, they ended up falling first.
Knocking back, hey, don't worry about it. They'll hit the shatter anyway. 3 on the ground, and the cleanup was there, despite the best attempts of Young and Beautiful to try and waylay the incoming Reinhardt.
the
late self-destruct kills.
Yeah, the residual kill feed showing us a 5-man self-destruct from Danny.
Yeah, unfortunately. I imagine Angry Titans just like crowded around that. After doing what they
We'll
want
give you some
around.
stats that literally don't count.
Yeah, just have
The
yourself a
round
firework. Speaking of fireworks, on this point, we often will see a Farah come out, but it does look like both of our teams are pretty confident in sticking on the 3-3. But a key difference is that Lolsish will be opting for a more mobile main tank and a Winston compared to Crandop, who wants to play on the Reinhardt. And this means that Angry Titans are going to be far more vulnerable to Kathy's attentions with that particle beam, because of course there'll be no consistent shield in his way to try and mitigate that damage. And Kathy was already getting those gravitons incredibly fast. Looks like we may already see Lolsish swapping back.
Potentially, yeah. Angry Titans haven't fallen back really, though. Young and Beautiful were able to speed on them for a moment. Spectral a little bit caught, but he should be okay. Does have the Brigitte at his side, just to negate some of that damage to the armor pack. There we go, Lolsish switching over. Reinhardt instead of Winston. They want to control the main ground.
Kathy gets the idea of where they're coming from due to the information coming through from Young and Beautiful, but Spectral's coming through as well with a lot of damage.
Oh, Fat, the Assassin Lucio managed to take out Flippy on the brig. That's something you don't usually see. Lolsish is going to take out Crandrop as well. And in EU, for one person falls, you're pretty much gone in 3-3 unless a miracle happens. With no ults available, no miracles could come about, and Angry Titans will cap the point first.
Unfortunately, that's a really late rotation there from the side of Young and Beautiful, who found themselves on the point. But it seemed like Kathy got the notice late that Angry Titans were rotating around because he wasn't there with Crandop when he needed to be, and Crandop faced the full brunt of Angry Titans' aggression and very much suffered for it. And of course, we did see the falling of Flippy due to some assassin plays from Fat.
Yeah, definitely something you don't usually see, like I said before. That armor negates a lot of that damage, but Fat doesn't really seem to care. Shrugged it off. A-Fox has the trance. It's going to be fairly important. Kathy, of course, is going to build grabs rather quickly. Only 70% though, as he the rest of his team did go down fairly early. Crandrop and Lolsish going rather low, but look at that. A-Fox using a very aggressive Transcendence already.
Good block.
Very good block on both teams, actually. Oh, Fire Strike did hit through, and a nice pin from Lolsish actually splats Flippy and takes Young Savage out as well. Beautiful. Cavi does manage to find a kill regardless and earns himself a grab, but they're going to have to go again.
Lolsish there ensuring that he can get as much damage done as possible with that charge, because charge actually has 50 impact damage. If you don't pin someone in the animation and apply that stun, they get 50 damage and knocked back. And in that case, 50 damage was enough to take out Young Savage, but you're going to need a little bit more than 50 damage to take out anyone right now, because Honey has that Transcendence ready. He's got a significant advantage over A-Fox at the moment. He can really control the tempo of this, control the aggression, but he may want to use it to counter his grab.
Both grabs have been used. That self-destruct perfectly placed. I don't think they even see him coming. Young Savage is going to fall. Crandrop is going to follow. You see Crandrop looking forward like, where's the self-destruct? Oh, it's behind me. Well, we're dead. 80% now for Angry Titans. They do throw a lot into that fight and didn't even have the Transcendence, but they've got a beat to rely on for the next and potentially last one.
Positioning of Spectral's grab there was really cool. He used it on a pillar so that Crandop was stuck on one side and Young Savage was stuck on another. That meant Crandop could even turn his shield if he wanted to protect himself from the self-destruct, but it would not reach far enough to protect his way with Lucio, who's still looking for that first sound barrier. 91% right now, and Fat has overtaken it.
That he has. Lolsish has the shadow as well, and Cappy's already dead.
Oh
There's
my
the shadow
Lord.
also moved past the shield. Oh my goodness. Lolsish on fire. Self-destruct onto the point. Danny finds nobody, and that'll be Young Savage taken down as well. Angry Titans taking the first game.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Lolsish has stayed angry, hitting some massive shadows over the course of these last few rounds. And Angry Titans, who I'd argue are pretty fairly the favourites of this matchup, will take Oasis, and does mean we're going to be moving on to Hybrid with Young and Beautiful on the back foot, but there's signs of life on City Centre. Quite a dominant performance from Young and Beautiful until they got capped upon the first time. We saw Caffey definitely having the surplus in Graviton Ultimate Charge.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, we all know Caffey to be rather aggressive on Xayah and instantly jumping on to the pillar in the centre, or not pillar, I guess. What is it? It's a little building.
It's a pavilion.
Sure, a little pavilion. And he was just being so aggro.
Young or gazebo.
Well. Gazebo. Yeah, but they're normally made out of like the plasticky stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. We'll sort that out. We're going to jump to a quick break. Game number 2 coming up very soon. Hey guys, welcome back. Map number 2 on your screens very soon. This is, of course, Young and Beautiful versus Angry Titans. Angry Titans taking Oasis 2-0 to start us off with.
Signs of life, however, from Young and Beautiful. And I'd like to have a quick little look at Crandop. He is actually a returning Contenders player as opposed to someone new who's been picked up by the team and brought through trials. And I think he's a pretty consistently good main tank, actually. His ability to defend Caffey when Caffey was Earthshattered seems rather good, and at the moment, he is getting bamboozled now and then by Lolsish, but that is to be expected when you're up against someone the caliber of which Lolsish plays at.
Yeah, they are runners-up, of course, from Season 3. in 2018, so it was going to be a rough ride. But if you get this ride out early, you can just go back over the VODs, just look at what you've done wrong, look at how you could play better, etc., and then you can move onwards and upwards from there. Iconvol will, of course, be our hybrid map. It is a fixed map pool this season if you've only just joined us. And Young and Beautiful, they, right now, are sitting in a situation where they could potentially go for something a little bit different. We know they can play the 3-3 rather well, and it's something we kind of expect them to do because they've had so much time in trials and maybe not enough time to actually prepare for something else, but that doesn't mean they might have something in their back pocket.
Yeah, it raises the question as to what else you'd expect Cafe to play. He's famously got a pretty good tracer, but what other heroes might he have in his back pocket? I imagine he's got quite a mean Pharah. I think I've seen him play a little bit of that before on the ladder here and there. We know Flippy is a bit of a hit scan monster, especially on the Widowmaker. We saw him in Eagle Gaming in Season 1 basically being their trump card and solo carrying maps by just hitting too many heads. Danny seems to be a pretty flexible off-tank as well, and of course Crandop is going to be the linchpin around which all of this revolves. And it will be Young and Beautiful starting off on the offense here. We can expect Honey to actually likely try and see if he can scout out on the Sombra, lay down a Translocator inside the spawn, and then quickly bring himself back with an informed team so they can decide how they want to move forward. But no, they're actually going to swap out. Caffey's on the Zarya.
Yeah, Cappy's on that.
Zarya.
He's on the flank.
Angry Titans on the defense, just, it is what it is, Jaws. 3-3 here and there, so it's going to be another mirror matchup, and what I want to keep a look out at once again will be Cafe versus Spectral in this Graviton Surge Generation War. And you've got to see people going in and out of shields here and there and trying to exploit people who get a little bit too aggressive.
I like what we saw just very, very briefly on the screen there. Using the thrust at the last second to actually spot out the composition that Young and Beautiful running in order to kind of reevaluate where they actually want to hold. It is on the point, of course, as they are running into 3-3.
A couple of rotations here from Young and Beautiful, trying to exploit Angry Titans. See if anyone's not checking their angles. Ooh, you got to be careful. Honey's going to try and test you.
Yeah, Honey's already up to 60% ult charge as well on that Transcendence. Looking pretty tasty. 70% now as well. But like we said, Spectral and Cafe are going to be the ones to look at when it comes to these ult charges. Cafe's at 50%. Spectral's only about 10% behind, but he's narrowing the gap.
Lolsish isolated out at the moment, won't be able to shield any of his team. Spectral, though, is going to try and take matters into his own hands with a deep flank.
Yeah, Spectral's on the flank this time. Danny actually gets stunned. You can see in the top right of your corner, and now Lolsish is going to suffer the same fate. A Transcendence is being used fairly early by Angry Titans. They're also going to chirk out the rally as well. A Graviton Surge onto the dead tank isn't going to find anything just yet. That's Shatter nor either. Crandrop just putting that one straight into Lolsish's shield, and a Graviton Surge from AT this time with no self-destruct. Doesn't mean any instant kills as a Transcendence was there from Honey.
He's got another Shatter, and that's so many people.
4 people hit the ground. I didn't even see that one charge up, Harry, and I don't think Young and Beautiful did either. Cafe and the gang are going to go down. There's no way they're going to be able to reclaim that fight. Straight back to spawn with 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
Oh, George, you can charge him real easy when Spectral grabs in 6 members, and he's already got 6% of the way towards his next ult as well. But there, Lolsish, his first Shatter uncharacteristically. There was no blockage to it. He just missed enough Shatter. There was no one where he shattered. Maybe you thought that there would be someone there and there was a miscommunicated boop or something, but now Young and Beautiful are coming back in. Don't have a Graviton Surge of their own yet again, but are about equal on trying to make that happen. We are going to see 2 self-destructs, potentially force positioning or create room after which to push in with these Reinhardts.
AT have the support ultimate advantage there with Avox having his Transcendence, using it fairly early to start off with, and using it again. Doesn't really want to commit this one to the Graviton Surge. There's the Graviton Surge, speaking of, from Spectral. Self-destruct up in the air. It's going to get blocked with the shield. There's another grab came out from Cafe to make sure there was no shield bash on Crandrop's shield. A beat to send them to the point. Fat goes extremely low, but so does the rest of the team. Honey is going to fall. Well, Honey is actually going to take out Fat, in fact. And now Young and Beautiful have the man advantage. Lolsish being alone in the corner as well isn't going to survive long enough to make it back to his team. Young Savage is Savage in the front line too. Urki's going to fall, and the rest of AT are going to follow him.
The control there on Lolsish was insane. The second they saw some kind of in to move him around, they completely just threw him to the backline. There was no way the remainder of Angry Titans was going to be in a position to support Lolsish there. And I'm a big fan of Cafe. Like you said, his Graviton Surge ensured not only was there no shield bash to try and remove Crandop's shield, but it also ensured that Lolsish did not have the option to charge on through, apply that stun, and ensure that shield was not available for the remainder of Young and Beautiful. So they found themselves rather unharmed after that combo.
Oh, look how close AT are playing up. So they didn't even want them to open the doors. Ideally you would, as of course you don't want to be playing on a backboard for an easy pin from a Reinhardt, of course. Graviton Surge thrown out. Losish has another Shatter, trying to remove someone from the grab, but all that damage going off actually killed Cappy.
Oh
There's the Shatter also. Danny is going to get inflicted with it. He's on top of the cart and he will be safe for the time being. Fox again using another Transcendence rather aggressively, ignoring the fact that Cappy is fairly close to a Graviton Surge of his own.
Young Savage can potentially flank around right now, get a cheeky boot. You can see he's up on the walls.
He's on the sky. He's on the skybox.
He's in the spies. He's a castle architect right now. Krandop's going to get incredibly aggressive. Has a projected barrier, but so does Lolsish, and Spectral's going on a deep flank.
Spectral's on the flank, boys. Oh my goodness, Honey didn't expect that, and a beat to make sure he ends up doesn't go down. Lolsish is going to fall as he didn't have Spectral at his back, and Flippy is going to charge him down too. Young and Beautiful spotting that one coming a mile away. Used that beat and the speed boost. Knew that the Zaya wasn't there to protect the Reinhardt with the shield.
Yeah, the second you see Spectral out there, just trying to pummel at your backline. Honey's got the armor to try and save himself from that for a while. So we're like, okay, we're gonna speed boost, we're gonna sound barrier, and we're gonna make sure that Lolsish is not having a good time playing Overwatch right now. And Cappy, for his efforts, has gained himself yet another Graviton Surge. We'll be able to combine it with Danny and that self-destruct, which is the main combination you look for in these 3-3 compositions, and execution is paramount. It's gonna be down to Krandop and Flippy here to try and facilitate the removal of shields from Angry Titans to ensure the kills come through.
Big AT
oh,
rotation.
That is not what we wanted!
Oh, straight on the payload. That hit absolutely nobody. Unlucky Cappy. Lolsish will end up going down though, as Young Fat Savage did manage to boop him on the head. Double layering of support ults for Angry Titans. They need to make this fight win. They need to win this fight right here, right now. There's the grab, the self-destruct, manages to kill Krandrop. Fox is going to get traded though, and Urki is going to go down as well. Perfect positioning from Young and Beautiful, sticking on that cart to receive the small bit of healing as well. We'll make sure Angry Titans pay for jumping on Young and Beautiful's head.
Even with the payload being on Angry Titans' team, it does look like Young and Beautiful managed to clutch that one out. Spectral's still in the back trying to harass Krandrop. He could be staggered. What? Lolsish just earth-shattered whoever was on the car. Danny.
It was Danny. His board trait did have the little stars above his name. They do manage to push them off the payload. The entirety of, well, half of Young and Beautiful, in fact, actually went on their own flank to try and kill Spectral. And look, AT biting back. They see it was a 3-on-6. Easy team, well, 3-on-5, sorry. Easy team fight win.
Yeah, we saw Krandrop was actually the one being harassed there by Spectral, so there was no consistent shielding available to try and save any members of Young and Beautiful who just got faced with Lolsish. It was like, you know what? I've got a free shatter. And you know what? Time is far from free. It's expensive, Jaws, and Young and Beautiful have about ran out of money. They're running on savings. They're moving paycheck to paycheck. 27 seconds remain. Right now, Young and Beautiful get themselves on the cart. Do have control here. Angry Titans are going to have to engage it.
That was a nice flank, and Young and Beautiful still have that grab. They've also got Danny's self-destruct. They're going to throw it in. They also use the beat for good measure. That shield was completely removed as Danny finds 2 kills with the self-destruct. Krandrop and Flippy are going to clean up house as well. Angry Titans got bamboozled, and they will go back to spawn, and the castle doors unlock.
I would argue that potentially didn't need to use a sound barrier there, but you've got to try and throw a little bit extra in to maintain the advantage when you are in overtime and it's win or just finish the attack scenario. Angry Titans do only have to hold here for 1 minute and 20 seconds, of course, and Spectral with his grab will be one of the primary tools they use to do this. You can see Lolsish not playing the corner very well at the moment. We'll try and use the payload instead to cover for his shield, but he's so low on that shield health.
There's the grab. Honey still has the Transcendence, hasn't used it just yet, doesn't feel pressured enough to do so. The Shatter hits 2 people, and Urki's already gone down. A Transcendence now from Honey to sustain him through the additional fight, and Spectral caught on the corner again. Krandrop finds a nice double kill with the Flame Strike, and Emil's going to go down on that card.
And Angry Titans got split up so easily. It feels like the communication really fell apart the second that Young and Beautiful had any answer to Spectral's Graviton Surge, and now Kathy can try and lock this up. Graviton Surge to absolutely nothing. Lolsish will have to use defensive Earth Shatter from within the Graviton Surge to try and remain safe and keep his team protected from any try and attempt at follow-up.
Grab on 2 people.
Getting
There's
fancy.
the beat. Spectral's going to go down very low, has to back off rather rapidly. Did receive the beat, which means he did survive and he can get back to the rest of his team, but he's going to need to build up a grab fast. They do have that self-destruction Shatter to work with. Young and Beautiful, they have 17 seconds remaining. A Shatter around the cart and the self-destruct is thrown in. Young Savage is going to go down. Krandrop also bites the dust. There's no way Cappy's going to be able to win this, not 1v6. Honey is also activating the Transcendence to get back on the cart to try and force OT. He's going to be able to do so, but that Transcendence is going to run out sooner or later.
Well, overtime has been forced. The only force that's being applied right now is Angry Titans Titans straight onto Young and Beautiful.
There we go. They managed to stop Young and Beautiful from completing the map, giving them a very clear win condition. Round 1 completes. We're going to flip sides, and Angry Titans now are on the offense.
Cafe did force out the sound barrier with a rather creative Graviton surge usage. He caught Urki from below and caught Spectral from the top, pitting them both to that sort of rafter of the inside of a castle, but unfortunately could not really follow that up. Maybe could have been better communicated over to Honey, who potentially, if he had a charge shot ready, could have maybe executed Spectral before that sound barrier hit. And after that sound barrier hit, we didn't actually see Spectral get overly aggressive. I thought Angry Titans may well have been undermanned in their aggression there, but Young and Beautiful sort of crumpled under the pressure of 5 sound barrier members moving forward.
The AT have always been known as a family, and you can see how much and how well they've integrated the 2 new players on their team already.
The adoptees.
Yeah, the adopted Angry Titans players. I mean, right now, and we did talk about it at the very start of the game, was how was Fat going to be integrated into this roster? Because Luddy was extremely vocal. The kingpin, Luddy, that is, of course.
The big boss.
The big boss. But Luddy being so vocal, there's going to be a lapse in communication potentially there when you add an additional member and you take that very, very loud, assertive voice out. And I was kind of curious in how they were going to do that, how the calling was going to go down, but it seems now on perfect. It seems like the Angry Titans we all know and love.
Definitely does. I'm very impressed with the AFOX Honey duel right now. I think Honey's going a lot more equal with AFOX than I would have given him credit for prior to watching this series. Young and Beautiful on the defense, don't love it, just want to stick to this pretty classic 3-3 at Angry Titans. Well, they sort of popularized quad tanks, so we would expect them to bring out these tanks as well.
Wouldn't be too surprised. There you go. Of course. No cheeky Winnermaker, unfortunately, from Spectral. Could hop over the building to have a little peek, but rather use the time a little bit more wisely. Cranjob goes extremely low. That's a nice couple of headshots from AFOX, actually, to force him back. Lulsish going fairly low as well. He's got to be careful. That AoE healing is going to get denied if he is past the shield of Crown Drop, of course. And a lot of healing being denied now as well as Spectral takes out Honey.
So many split members here of Young and Beautiful are going to try and isolate and destroy.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Flippy got forced into a corner. A place where he didn't want to be. Young Savage on the attack, though, is going to find the kill onto Spectral. Another very, very prominent solo Lucio player. It's good to see more in the mix, to be honest.
And Honey there was picked early because of a positioning Young and Beautiful decided to take. That's what we'd call like a comp queue strategy, just playing at the primary choke point. But the reason a lot of teams don't play that primary choke point in competitive games is because it's so easy to be overrun because you cannot rotate around the first corner. You've got to go all the way back around the clock tower to rotate around there and find your Reinhardt in safety. And because Crandop couldn't get all the way back there that quickly, it meant that Honey found himself out of position without a shield while Crandop was trying to stagger it.
All right, okay. So
that's revenge, though.
Yeah, a little bit of revenge. I managed to take out AFOX, but Angry Titans are fairly close to their spawn. They don't commit anything more. And plus, going off of that as well, when you're in that archway, there's nowhere really for Reinhardt to back off to get his shield back. You can fall back, but then you get, again, just falling back to the point. And very, very different styles of holding first choke and the first point itself, of course. We're already seeing differences emerge. Angry Titans have 4 ults online when Spectral gets his. Not too far away. There's a rally to start off the fight, though. Lulsish has that shadow. He's going to want to pressure Crown Drop out as much as he can. Graviton Surge gets thrown in. The shadow comes out as well. Oh, no, sorry, there it is. Crown Drop throwing that straight into the grab. Didn't get anything because the Transcendence is still going off. The Self-Destruct gets launched into the air, but it is, of course, is just going to disappear because everybody from Young and Beautiful was already dead.
Danny finds himself demaxed, but will have to go onto the card to force everyone to kill him. Looks like he may well be... Oh, no, he is resetting himself off the edge. Good job, Danny. Good job. Angry Titans do have a couple of tools to try and make the next fight work. They invested heavily in the last one, though, having to use 2 support ultimates as well as the Graviton Bomb combo. Lulsish, however, does have a significant advantage when it comes to the Earth Shadow, and that's super important. It means he can play so much more aggressive. He's not worrying about keeping his shield up in case Crandop can get that cheeky Earth Shadow onto his team. He can be as aggressive as he likes, providing that Fat will back him up with a sound barrier or Spectral has a bubble available. There it is.
The shadow under the car,
brutal.
straight on top of the Rhine. Crandrop gets saved, though, because that beautiful stun coming through from the break to stop the charge from Lulsish. Another beat comes through, this time on the side of Angry Titans, and the self-destruct will get blocked off. AT, perfect tempo control, but that's what we want to see. Reddit Lucio coming in big. Young Savage gets the 2-man boop.
Who expects that Lucio's just going to come out of nowhere and give himself a double boop onto Lulsish and onto Urki? That's a sad time. And onto Fat. Okay, 3 boops, that's 3 environmental kills. That right there is a play of the game, for those of you who know how that algorithm works. It loves those environmental kills. Angry Titans don't have any ultimates ready to go. They're close to a few, but none are ready right at this moment. Caffey, however, finger on the trigger. Johnny on the spot, got that Graviton Surge, ready to go. Nothing to combine with it though, but does have the cyclical ult generation with Crandop. Crandop can swing into that Graviton Surge, get himself an Earth Shadow, and there's great follow-up potential available.
Avox still has that trance as well online. There it is. 100% picking over. So he can stop Caffey's grab being very effective. AT on the big flankaroo is going to be able to touch the payload and keep it in, keep it from rolling back. There you go. They finally contested. 2 minutes and 45 seconds as well. Quite a gargantuan time bank. Graviton Surge thrown on the corner. Flippy is very caught out, but Honey is denying all of that damage. Same with AT.
Oh, more boobs!
What is this?
He got
Young Savage
Avox
finds Avox.
during trance!
Losish as well ends up going down. Herky's just going to join them as well. What is this play? Crandrop actually found the charge kill. He booped him straight through and he fell off the edge. Disgusting.
Oh, that's got to be heartbreaking for Avox. A Fox has been outfoxed today, and that was actually really smart from Young and Beautiful. They know how good Young Savage is at this, so they rotated back. They didn't meet Angry Titan's aggression. They were like, okay, we're just going to disengage, and disengagements are so important because they forced Angry Titans to fight over a bridge, and you can see Angry Titans do not want to take that rotation together. Like, we are staying away from this bridge until we absolutely have to be there. Look, Young and Beautiful are giving them a little bit of space, forcing them to have to move forward in order to keep that payload moving.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Self-destruct. Crandrop is not going to be able to block most of it. Caffey ends up going down. The Earth Shadow does land on 2 people. Honey is just going to get booped away. Losish finds the kill on Tani this time. Boop straight off the map. Self-destruct from AT. Isn't going to net anybody, but the rest of Young and Beautiful had to scurry for cover. Young Savage trying to find the 6K potentially with the boop on the edge, but he is the only one left alive. Just creating a little bit more time, stalling himself on the payload. Ends up going down, and Angry Titans will be able to deliver to the castle doors.
Unfortunately for Young and Beautiful there, the only boop kill actually came from Spectral, hitting a mortar onto Crandop and forcing him down into the picks. Of course, those plasma mortars do have a little bit of a knockback, as does for Reinhardt Hammer, allowing for some environmental kills from those 2 hardy tanks. Losish will be given the Discord Orb, will try and keep his shield vaguely healthy, but there's a Graviton Surge.
Nice grab, and look at that ult charge being built up by Losish already. He's got himself a shadow. This is going to be a 1-push fight, I think. Young and Beautiful are going to have to scurry back on the cart. There are only 40 meters remaining from making this a 2-0.
Indeed, they are. Angry Titans are looking to be in a dominant position. 2 minutes is a lot to play with when you're this close to the end. Young and Beautiful need to get huge value. I'd like to see Crandop use that Earth Shadow first. We could generate another one in Caffey's grab. You got to try and be very economical with how you're going to use and generate your ultimates. But
it doesn't matter.
Not like this.
It got eaten. Thank you very much, says Emil, and that's a 2-man shatter as well, forcing out the Transcendence from Young and Beautiful. Self-destructing the back line. Crandrop was blind. You need your glasses on, son. You got to look around. Urky's going to find the kill on Caffey as well. Angry Titans with the beat to finish them off. Young and Beautiful left wondering what just happened. A couple of meters remain, and AT will find 2 in the series.
He took his glasses off to try and look Young and Beautiful, but going to need them on to see where Emil's self-destruct was. What a great show reel there from Emil in his inaugural game with the Angry Titans. Like, you know what? Not only am I going to eat the opponent's win condition, I'm also going to remove their most important player in an instant, disintegrating Crandop and placing Angry Titans on match point as we move towards the half.
Well, we did kind of question how they were going to fit into the team, and it looks like they fitted quite nicely. Couple of replays on your screen of OWC, of course. Danny with the self-destruct kills. It was good, but it wasn't quite good enough. And this shatter, by the way, almost perfect from Flippy. Managed to rocket flail him away, but didn't matter in the end. Crandrop couldn't get his shield up in time.
Shields weren't there. It's got to be better communication. That seems to be a consistent highlight here. It's more about individual plays coming out from the side of Young and Beautiful, trying to force forward on those, like the damage that Cafe does. Crandop hitting a Mad Shadow, or Young Savage killing like 17 people in one boot.
Young Savage putting the namesake to the gameplay. This was another nice self-destruct. And Danny has been, he's been around Contenders a little while, and he's never been this big show-off diva. When we were playing a little bit more dive, my memory jogs back to things like Ruins. His diva wasn't anything really like, whoa, he's like really popping off. He's managing to pick the snipers out a lot. But in this meta, it seems like he's really found his home. Yeah,
it seems like he really had a big surge in performance after the Overwatch World Cup, where he played with Team Denmark over at the Thailand group stage. And they had quite an inspiring performance alongside others, such as Ding. And it was really good to see them working together. So I think Danny's definitely going to be a rising talent here in Europe.
Well, they've leveled up. We'll see if Young and Beautiful can find a match in the series and a potential reverse sweep. It's match point for Angry Titans, but we're going to jump to a quick break. Map number 3 coming very soon.